What's your DJ gig backup plan? What would you do? What do you do when it all goes wrong in the middle of a gig? That's what we're talking about on our live show today from the studios of Digital DJ Tips, the world's biggest online DJ school. Can't wait to get started. Settle down. I'll see you in 30 seconds. So welcome everyone just joining us for another live show from the Digital DJ Tips studio, and we're talking about what you do, what you would do, what you have had to do when your gig goes wrong, when something goes wrong, your laptop crashes, someone spills a drink on the gear, whatever. It could be. The whole point about these things is you don't know what it's going to be, right? What do you do? What have you done? What's your advice? We asked our amazing community inside our Student Hub group, which is for only students of our courses, and got hundreds and hundreds of replies, and I've collated them. I've got some of the interesting ones here to read out and share to get the conversation going, but we've also got you guys and girls live here as well. So anything you say, wherever you're watching us, on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, or formerly Twitter, X, or Twitch, you tell us. You tell us what you do when these things go wrong. We'll talk about it. We'll go backwards and forwards for 20 minutes or so here for today's lesson. Also, coming up a little bit later on, we've got the winner of our competition to win the pair of Alpha Theta Wave 8 speakers that we've been giving away on the site. They're actually above my head right now. There they are. So you're going to be winning those. They're nice, aren't they? So someone's won those anyway. I'll be announcing that person in a few minutes time. And also, if you missed it, the new version of our book, it's up there as well. There's only 10 of these at the moment in the world because it's not out yet, but it is coming out very soon. I'll tell you how you can get a copy, a Kindle copy of our updated Rock the Dance Floor How to DJ book for just 99 euro cents, dollar cents, or pennies in the pound. Less than €1, less than $1. Less than £1, but it will only be for a very short time, and I can't tell you exactly when it is because Amazon. So I'll tell you how you can make sure you don't miss that. So lots to talk about, but however, we're talking DJ gig backup plans as our main topic for today. So I've got 5 teaching points, then we're going to talk to you about your backup plans, things that maybe have happened to you. So something's happened to you bad in your gigs. Tell us what it is and how you got over it. I'll share 1 or 2 of your stories towards the end. But to start with then, I want to just give you the 5 teaching points that we often, and by the way, there's something about this in the book. Look how thick it is, how big it is. It's twice the size of the old one. Wow. Something in there about that as well. Right, here's our 5 points that I would always tell our students about this. The first thing is, it's going to happen. And it's not necessarily something you can avoid, but what you can control is how you deal with it, right? Things go wrong. I remember once I was DJing in a really hot summer, on a really hot summer's day in my favorite club, and we had a queue around the corner, a line around the corner. We were going to be very busy. Club's getting rammed, it's getting hotter and hotter, and the air conditioning is working really, really hard to keep the place cool. Not really succeeding, and we kind of noticed the audio was going a bit weird in the club. We started to lose bass. And like we were tweaking the controls on our gear, you know, as you do, like, oh, well, just turn the bass up here. That should do it, right? It doesn't, by the way, only temporarily. If you're doing that and it's not a permanent solution, then something's going wrong. And indeed, it did go wrong. In the end, all the bass went out. What had happened was in the amp room, the air conditioning had failed. So there's a big room full of the amplifiers and the air conditioning had failed. The bass amplifiers always work hardest. So they'd all popped out one by one, leaving the mids and the tops. So the cabinets on the dance floor looking down were all working, but the bass amplifiers on the floor, giving that stomach rumbling thump, weren't working. And obviously the other amps in the end were going to go as well. So we're like having a chat about it, and obviously people don't like it. There's no bass. But in the end, you'll be amazed how people forget And we carried on playing. What could we do? And meanwhile, we're trying to sort it out. The manager's gone up to his apartment above the club, and he's got a portable air conditioning unit, and he's rammed it in the aircon room, and he's got the tube that looks like a big fat vacuum cleaner tube coming out. So people are coming into the club past this room, they're getting hot air blown on them from this thing, and he's got a doorman stood there making sure the amps are guarded while this room cools down. And in the end, we said, well, how long are we going to leave it? We left it for, I think, half an hour. And then they turned the amps back on, and I was like, no, don't turn the amps on yet. Just give me 2 seconds. And what we did was this. We turned down the bass on the whole mixer. Obviously, we had a mixer that was more like this one here than this one here, but for the sake of our live show, we turned down the bass, and I got them to turn the amps on. I was DJing at the time. I got them to turn the amps on, and I got them to check. Like, the amps look all right. They haven't tripped out again. They're all on. Green lights everywhere. So the amps are fine, but we've got no bass going through the system, right? So what I did then was halve the volume a bit, got on the microphone and said, something cheesy like, okay, we're all ready. You waited long enough. Folks, it's time. And then we had a song with a massive build-up going on. Obviously, it's still sounding pretty tinny. And just before the drop, I threw the bass in. And when that bass hit, I'm not joking, I'm getting goosebumps on my skin now thinking about it. The doubling of the volume and the bass coming back, I've never heard such a big cheer in a club, ever, before or since. It was an awesome moment. It almost looked stage managed. So I'm just telling you this story because it's true that it's not what happens, it's how you deal with it that counts. So always bear that in mind. Always have a positive outlook on these things if you can. So the second point I want to make is you can avoid this stuff. Right? A lot of the time you can avoid this stuff. A lot of the time the problems are that you haven't prepared properly and you're not familiar with the gear, or if you're in somewhere where you have issues with power, maybe you haven't got a power backup or you haven't bought a surge protector to protect your gear. A lot of the time with just a bit of thought or turning up early and preparing, you can avoid some avoidable errors. Obviously the one I just talked about, well, it could have been avoided, I guess. I'm not really sure how, but it is possible to avoid a lot of errors. So, be aware that things are going to go wrong. It's how you deal with it that counts ultimately. Same in life really. But secondly, try and avoid them if possible. Thirdly, have a backup plan. You'll be amazed how many DJs simply don't have a backup plan for their DJ. And what are you going to do? You can't just do it on a wing and a prayer. You've got to have a plan. So think about it. Take the time to think about it. Fourthly, practice that backup. There's no good having one. There's no good saying, oh, I've got, what we've got here that we could use to illustrate this. I've got a Tascam dictaphone. Isn't that cool? And what I've done is I've put my DJ set on this SD card in the side of this dictaphone here. So I've got a DJ set all recorded there, and I've plugged in here to the back of the mixer. So if anything goes wrong, I can just hit play on there. Great. Such a really good solution. Well done. Something you found in your drawer at home that you weren't going to use for something else. Awesome. But if you haven't practiced it, well, how do you know that's going to work? How do you know the batteries aren't flat? Or how do you know that the output from there is not so loud it's going to distort in the mixer? Or how do you know when you press play it isn't going to start playing your notes from a meeting you had in 2008? You know what I mean? You got to practice your backup plan. So it's no good having one if you don't practice it. And the fifth point I want to make before we go to your weird and wonderful stories and solutions is that you've got to be a bit realistic here. If you're DJing someone's wedding and they've paid you $5,000 to DJ their wedding, to compare, to MC, to do the whole thing, you better make damn sure that you've got every eventuality covered, because they can't have that day again and you're going to spoil it, right? So you've got to have, I was talking to one of our contributors, sometime contributors, Rachel Lynch in the US, and she was talking on our forum and was saying, she listed the backup she has, and she gets paid a lot to be an event DJ. And I mean, it was a comprehensive list. She said at the end, if none of that works, I'm going home. Because it was going to work, because she had everything covered. So if you're at that level, you better have it covered. But if you're DJing in a bar on a Tuesday night and there's 20 people there, look, honestly, behind the bar, they can press a button and put music back on if something goes wrong while you sort it out, right? So between the two is probably where your gig is. So pick something that works for that gig. There's no point in having a truck outside with a full PA system in it waiting to wheel in if all you're doing is playing a few tunes in a bar for your mates, right? So they're the 5 things I wanted to talk about, but more importantly and more fun, I want to talk about some of the things that you have dealt with, some of the things you do to get around this. And I want to start off with some of the people from our forum, from our Student Hub forum, which is where our students hang out, the students of our paid courses hang out. And as I said, we had hundreds and hundreds of replies to this. I just picked a few. So one of the obvious ones is a backup laptop. We have a backup laptop here in this studio. It's actually over there. So we have 2 full laptops going on here. Should anything go wrong with one of them, we can quickly switch in the other one. So backup laptop. So Aaron said that. I just picked up the first few people who said these things. So apologies if you're one of them and I don't read your name out. Another one is a classic, your phone and a mini jack, right? To go into the back of whatever mixer you're using, whatever system you're using. And that way you can just click play on something on your phone. A couple of people mentioned having Spotify with an offline playlist on their phone to do that. So this can be good. Obviously nowadays you're going to need a little mini jack adapter because phones don't tend to come with a headphone socket anymore. Somebody actually said they've got an iPhone 6, an old iPhone 6 that does still have a headphone socket. So that's cool. So phone and mini jacks, Sari and Ricardo both said that. A Bluetooth source. So the Omnis Duo from Pioneer DJ, pretty much all the most recent Engine DJ gear, like the Mix Stream Pro Go and the Prime 4 Plus and things like that have got Bluetooth in. So you don't even need a wire. You can just have a Bluetooth channel set up, ready to hit something playing via a Bluetooth link. So thanks to everyone who suggested that. Some people have still got an old-fashioned iPod. You can still buy, what do they call, personal something devices. You can still buy them. iPods still exist under other names, but a lot of you have still got them, and that's exactly what you use. DJ Wild Bill, Herbie and Joey all use iPods. iPads, they still have, some of them still have a headphone socket, I believe. Charles uses an iPad. A sampler, that's a good idea. We've got a sampler here. Someone said it was, who was it? Jesse. Jesse uses a SP404 from Roland, and this actually has a DJ mode. You can put music on and actually DJ from it. So there's one way of doing it. Or just put tracks or mixes on the pads. So I like that idea, using a sampler. What are you going to play? Well, as I said, Spotify playlist is, one of you mentioned that. Val says, I record my practice sessions and I play those back. I love that idea, recording your practice sessions. And then as always in our fun community, we had a few people either showing off or just being plain silly. So Tony says, I just call the club engineers. Lucky if you've got engineers to call. So yeah, cool if you could do that, Tony. DJ Y says, I sing. Jack says, I sing and clap, as does Saul. Daniel says, I sing, my heart will go on. So there we go, a bit of Titanic in there. Ian doesn't sing, but Ian just gets on the mic and tells people to sing among themselves. Steve just says, I pray. Basically, Steve's just a prayer when it comes to this. And DJ Manny C says, you're not a pro unless you've got a backup for your backup. That's when you're a real pro. So thank you for that, Manny C. Right. Over to you. We have, as always, comments aplenty coming in on the live stream. So welcome everyone who has joined us today. And I'm going to read out, I'm just going to scan through from the top and read out any that jump out to me to kind of end off this section of the show. Hello to all our regulars, by the way. Mixmaster G. Mixmaster G, you got a shout in the back of the book, my friend. You deserve it. All the help you've given us over the years, honestly. Mixmaster G has got himself into the back of the current version of our book. Here you go, matey. There you are. Mixmaster G. Tucked in there somewhere. I'll go out of focus now. Anyway, yeah, very excited about this. I'll tell you a bit more about that later. Anyway, Mixmaster G, hello. Hello to Kevin and Kesha, to Harmonic Boom on Twitch, and to Dutch Delinquent over on YouTube. Right, so let's grab something on this topic from Harmonic Boom. When I was mobile, I always ran 2 pairs of cables, 2 different colours, so it was easy to swap out if I saw that was the issue. I love it. So if you're thinking it might be the cables, have 2 sets of colours, and then you put the red cable in instead of the black one, and then you're not going to go and check that one again because you know you've changed it. I like that idea. Very good. Never heard that before, and it's a good one. Harmonic Boom says, I did an outside gig once where my amp, back in the day when amps weren't in speakers, yeah, like me, had cooling fins and they were screaming hot. To avoid a protection mode, I put ice cubes in the cooling fins, which were outside of the amp case. Wow, bit risky, water and electronics, but as you say, they were outside. So thank you for sharing that, Harmonic Boon. So this one is from Baynard, who says, I DJ'd a wedding, the sound check went well, the guests were arriving, the music was going good. Then after the first dance, the computer crashed. Fortunately, I had my tablet. So there we go. Yep, tablet. Another vote for that one. So Jimmy says, I have a portable Bluetooth receiver, that I plug directly into the line in on my mixer or controller, or even to the back of an amp. I love it. So you get a Bluetooth receiver and plug it into the sockets. That makes a lot of sense. I like that. So I had a situation, says Benny, where Serato went backwards on me. Oh, we know that. You just press the letter J, I think, depending on which deck anyway. Or it could be, I can't remember. I actually did a video on it, and I Google my own video sometimes when it happens to me. So Serato went backwards. I tried everything I could. So I went to my phone, turned on Bluetooth, and I played music. And, says Benny, I went to the Digital DJ Tips site too in order to find out how to fix it. Yeah, yes, done that on my own site. Right, so a couple of you are asking about the book. I'll tell you all about this very shortly, people. Very exciting. Look how big it is. I will tell you about that in a minute. Right, so Javier says, I've been living in the past. Spare styli, plural of stylus, spare cables, second DJ controller, etc. Now all I realised I needed was a mic, so I could blame other people for not preparing my work properly. Or a little dig there at our friend who had the Coachella error the other week, Grimes. Come on, be a little bit more gentle-spirited, Javier, please. So yes, we are still in Gibraltar, Alvin was asking. So Adam says, my mobile DJ backup plan, I divide my speakers and gear between two separate outlets on separate breakers. I like it. Everything goes through my 8-channel mixer, including my Denon Prime Plus and my iPad for backup. Well, Fawaz, stop cut and pasting. We do not answer people who dominate the chat by cut and pasting. Ask once, please. And if your question is not about backups, come back on Thursday. A Thursday, it might not be this Thursday, it might be next Thursday when we next have an open house. But please, people, don't just do this, cut and pasting. It's very rude. Right, okay, that is the backup question. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you everyone on our group for sharing as well. I enjoyed it. It's good to revisit that one. Two things then to talk about. Number one, and if I had the drum roll, I would play it now. Who is the winner of our pair of Wave 8 speakers worth $1,800, kindly in conjunction with Alpha Theta. They are above me as I speak. There they are, folks. And they will be winging their way to this lucky person. Who is the lucky person? The draw closed 2 days ago, I think. So it's all been done. It's all been drawn. I can reveal now that the lucky person, I might inadvertently reveal them when I put this pad down and put the overhead camera on earlier. The lucky person is in the UK, and it is Claire Gundry. Claire Gundry in the UK. Claire, we are letting you know by email that you've won, and Alpha Theta will be getting your speakers off to you very soon. They're a wonderful speaker, actually. We've grown to like them the more we've played with them. And what we like most about them is that they are fully, genuinely low latency wireless, and you don't need to buy anything else because they come with a special little transmitter pack that you can plug in the back of your DJ controller, and then you don't need to run cables to them or between them, and they're battery powered as well. So they're not perfect. We don't like the fact that the tweeter is a bit exposed, but we have grown to like these, that's why we've got them here. We're using them in the studio at the moment. So we are not paid to say stuff like this. We're very independent here at Digital DJ Tips, proudly so. However, when we find something we like, we will talk about it, and we also ask them to let you have a pair. Hence, Claire has just won them. So everyone's a winner on that one. Right, talking about everyone's a winner, I was going to tell you about this. A few of you are saying, when can we get hard copies of it? When's it going to be in Barnes & Noble? When can we get the 99... I don't know the words in all the currencies. The less than £1, dollar and euro Kindle version, etc., etc. The second version of the book is a big deal because I know I keep jokingly saying Look how big it is, but it is, it's nearly double the size of the original, totally updated. It's 8 years old, our book. It's sold thousands and thousands of copies. It's helped so many people to DJ. We've had nearly 500 reviews with an average 4.5 out of 5 on Amazon for it. So we're very proud of the original, but it's 8 years old. So it really did need updating. There's loads of stuff in here that didn't exist before, stuff about music streaming services and live streaming and subscriptions and updates to software and hardware and mixing styles and quick mixing and open format and all that stuff. It's all updated, it's all new. Very proud to have it. It's launching at the end of May, which is the good news. The list price is $20, £20, €20, I would guess, on Amazon. And there will also be a Kindle version. There will also be a audiobook when I can get to London to the studio to record it, which will be a little bit later in the year, but it is coming. However, I want you to get this for yourself, and I want you to get it for your Kindle at least, or your Kindle app, for just, as I say, less than $1, less than £1, less than €1, 99 cents or pennies. And it is easy, but you have to do one thing. I'll tell you why. We give all this, it's a bit like the App Store. We give all this to Amazon and it's ready to go live, but I can't tell you the second it will. Now, Amazon will let us give you this for 99p, but we can only do it for 24 hours. So it's going to be 99p. It's going to be for seriously 1 day, which might start in the middle of the night where you are, right? So you need to know the second that happens, and we don't know until it does ourselves. So in order to know when this is going to be available to you, not for $15 or $12 or whatever it's going to be on regular price on Kindle, in order to know, you need to go to this page here on our website, and you'll get to this page here by going to, listen carefully, djtips.co/book. Right, nice and easy, djtips.co/book. You'll get to this page here. All you got to do is put your name and email address in there. And then the second this is available, we will send you a link with the direct link to Amazon so you can get it for that 99 cents, dollars. I keep saying dollars, you know what I mean, price. Also, everyone who does that, I'm going to have a special seminar just for you, just for everyone who fills in that form, where I'm going to talk over the 5 steps of DJing that we talk about in here. They've been updated. They're now, I'm going to try and get them right because it changed. They are gear, music, mixing, performing, and success. Gear, music, mixing, performing, success. They haven't changed an awful lot. We just kind of changed the name a bit, but we've changed the final one is the big one, because the final one used to be promoting yourself. Well, not everyone wants to promote themselves, because success means different things to different DJs, right? So promoting yourself is all about getting paid gigs. Well, that's not everyone in our community. So success is all about getting success how it matters to you. It includes things like mixtapes and live streams and sharing your mixes and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, we're very proud of it. Head to djtips.co/book, fill in that form, and you can grab a copy for just 99 cents the second it comes out at the end of May. And from that point, it will be available in all good bookstores to order, etc., etc., with the audiobook coming later in the year. So well done to Claire for winning the Alpha Theta Wave 8 speakers. Thank you to everyone, Erin, Rachel, Sari, Ricardo, Bill, Herbie, Joey, Jesse, Tony, and everyone else who contributed to today's show, and especially to everyone who contributed live. I will be back again very soon. And so until the next live show, all that's left for me to say is get good, get out there, make the moments, and see you again then. Till then, bye-bye.